I think something unique about the Romney Institute is their dedication to inclusion and excellence. By seeing the administrative staff in the department and your teachers prepared to teach, but teach a whole person. So you're never just a student and they never only care about the student aspect of your being. They're prepared to support you through an educational process as a whole person. And I think that's a rare thing to find.
To me, an MPA student is someone who is looking for knowledge on how they can better benefit the world. You know, I think about an MBA student, they're very interested in learning about business strategy and entrepreneurship, which are all great things. But MPA students are really looking for how they can be better leaders, how they can take their great ideas to help improve the world and just be better people in general.
One of the things I loved about the EMPA program is the mission of it. I never saw myself going back to the private sector of business. I wanted to be involved in something that was not only going to help me in technical skills and finance and accounting and all of those things. So I wanted to get involved with people, more purpose-driven.
Yeah, I love the MPA program at BYU because it was an opportunity for me to chase a dream. I've always had a dream of a master's degree, and I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people have a dream of getting a master's degree at BYU. And for whatever reason, they think it's too hard, they think it's not attainable, they think they don't have enough time. All that is true, but it doesn't matter. You're gonna be 3 years older in 3 years anyways. So take advantage of this opportunity to get your master's at BYU.
Yeah, going through the program has allowed me to get to the position I'm in now. So before, if I didn't have the MPA degree, I wouldn't be in my planning division manager position. So I would have topped out as, maybe a senior level planner without having an MPA degree. So previously I just had an urban planning degree, so that really only got me so far within my career path. But going through the MPA program, especially through what I've learned, and I was able to show that to those here in the city, they could see some of my leadership abilities growing as I went through the program. That's really how I got into my current position now.
So I was taking organizational behavior in my first semester, and Professor Thompson had us map out our plans for our careers. And I had been thinking and talking about starting this podcast for a long time. I started within a couple of weeks after finishing that class, and it's been really a neat experience. It's been really interesting to see how things just fit together. It's a very well-designed program, honestly. I just took a class about nonprofit management, and we've talked about turning our podcast into a nonprofit, and so that was so applicable. I don't think I've ever paid more attention to a class.
I didn't have a specific position in mind when I joined the program, but I applied because I wanted to make a bigger positive impact in organizations around me. Specifically, I wanted to be at the table where big decisions were happening. I didn't have the skills that would make me attractive as an applicant for the kind of tables that I wanted to be on. And this program gave me every skill to be confident knowing that I could make a big contribution to organizations who are ready to move forward to serve their team members better and to serve the populations that they serve better.
A lot of what it became was tools, patterns for thinking, processes, almost principle-based, right? That instead of here's the 7 steps to the situation that you follow to get to the point, it's more of here's these different ways of thinking, here's how we can approach, here's the things to consider, here's knowledge. So we pull that, and now whenever space we're in, we apply that to that unique or complex situation. Joseph Smith says, I teach them correct principles and they govern themselves. You could say that about the program in a way. There are specific things like quantitative decision analysis where there's a steps, but largely there's a lot of how to think and how to approach and skills and tools to do that.
The hard skills that I learned in the program, every single one was applicable to the professional work I was doing at the time and continue today. Things like accounting and Excel work, stats and analysis and interpretation of data. Good data-driven decisions are something an organization always needs, and so many of the classes were designed around helping graduates come into an organization and be able to see what an organization might need to improve and work on those specific things for desired outcomes.
It sounds really cheesy, but the skill I think I've gained most from the program is more confidence. I feel like when I see a problem now, I feel like I'm more equipped to tackle it. If I see something in the world that bothers me, I feel like I have more of an idea of what I can do to help and make a difference. The things I've learned in the program are really helpful in my personal life too. Like when we found out my child was autistic, it was really empowering because I was able to look and say, well, what can we do about this, and take different things I've learned in the program and apply them actually to helping our child.
Before I started the EMPA program, looking at the calendar, it was not doable. It really wasn't. My life was too busy. It was too full. I had too much going on, too many kids, too many ball games, too much stuff. But I found out that the program was doable. It wasn't easy, and I had to juggle, and there were times I had to miss class because of my responsibilities at work. All of my professors and my team were totally cool with that. They worked with me, I worked with them. The program is not only doable, but it will make you a better person.
I thought, how is he going to help me do this? How is this going to be possible? And I'll tell you, probably the number one thing I learned in that space was trusting the Lord in a different way, in a new way. And there is never a good time to go to grad school. There's never a good time to start a new job. There's never a good time to do all these things. He makes space for it. And I compare it to almost like the Red Sea. You know, there were also the Red Sea parted, you know, with Moses and the people of Israel, and they went through, but when they turned around, that closed and it was gone. I remember after the program, I'm like, where was that space? Because I don't see it there anymore. You know, and he makes a space where there is none.
Life definitely carried on while we were in the program, and what I found most helpful was to know where my busy seasons would be so that I could be prepared and communicate appropriately with my team. That helped a lot, but I also found that when you learn how to build a team appropriately and communicate well with a team, that we're all very willing to work together, and there are seasons where you're doing a lot of the coordinating and you lead out on a project, and there are other seasons where you are supporting in the completion of a project, and that's just as valuable, and the rest of your teammates know that.
I think going through the program was huge to learn how to form a team. You go through the forming, norming, storming, and performing through your organizational behavior class. Working in a team has really been a game changer for us. We don't take a top-down approach. We take a collaborative approach in all that we do here with the division. You know, every person on the team, at least from what I can tell, seems very happy with the environment. They feel very motivated to do a good job. They feel like they're bought into their work. On the flip hand, like let's say I got put into this role, I never went through the program. You know, is it a kind of thing where it's like, all right, I'm the boss, you do what I say, let's do this. You know, they may not feel as appreciated or as important. They may not feel as passionate about their work. But when you give them the opportunity to be as part of a team and really contribute, it creates, so much better work and a much better working environment as well.
I never felt like I was at opposition with the professors, even though it was hard. And some of those tests, I wanted to punch someone in the face because they were hard. But I always felt like they were part of my team, and they were pulling me and wanted me to succeed. That's cool. That's a good program.
If you're considering the program, think about why it's in your heart and mind. Why are you considering it? Who is helping you to consider these things? Disciples of Christ are small and few, and there's a lot of work to do. And this is part of what he needs to have happen. So is to bring people to be trained and to be brought into this program and to be able to act on the compassions we have in our hearts. This gives us the tools to do that.